Hello and welcome, my dear friend. There is a reason this word is finding you now, because recently you crossed a moment that not many people ever reach. You faced situations that could have twisted you, broken you, or turned you bitter, but instead you carried it with grace. Grace is not softness. Grace is strength disguised as gentleness. Grace is the decision to keep your hands clean when life handed you mud. Grace is restraint when you could have unleashed chaos, and heaven took note. Anyone can celebrate when everything works. Anyone can be kind when people applaud them. But you made decisions in the dark that revealed the core of who you are. Some would have chosen revenge, some would have folded under the pressure, but you stayed steady. You chose a higher road. And heaven's response was not disappointment, it was delight. Grace rarely looks loud. It doesn't demand to be seen. It moves quietly through ordinary choices that look forgettable to people but unforgettable to God. That's what makes you unique. It wasn't just what you did, it was how you did it. Picture the lock on a dam. It makes no sound. It doesn't look heroic. Yet the weight of an entire river pushes against it. If it ever broke, everything downstream would flood. That's what your grace has been. Silent strength, holding back what could have destroyed more than just you. You may not have realized it at the time. You may have told yourself, I'm just surviving. I'm just doing what I can. But heaven leaned closer. Heaven said, this one handled it differently. This one stayed aligned. And that alignment has weight. It's now the mark that your life can carry more than you thought. Here's what most people miss. The greatest approvals don't come after a parade. They come in the quiet, when no one is watching, when the struggle is invisible to the outside world. The deepest recognition isn't announced with banners or noise. It's carved into heaven's memory, reserved for the ones who stayed true when compromise looked easier. This isn't about what you will one day achieve. It's about what you've already done. Because the truth is, you could have unraveled. You could have abandoned your peace. You could have allowed exhaustion to dictate your decisions. But you didn't. And in that moment, something sacred happened. God smiled, not at perfection, but at endurance, not at status, but at character. That response is not symbolic, it's directional. His delight over your choices is already shaping what's ahead of you. Understand this clearly. Heaven doesn't celebrate only the dramatic victories. It celebrates the private loyalties, the moments you stayed soft when anger hardened others, the times you chose patience when urgency pushed you to rush, the small yes you whispered that no one else even heard. That's what carried eternal value. You didn't prove yourself by putting on a show. You proved yourself with consistency, your private life echoing the same truth as your public one. And that kind of integrity leaves an imprint nothing can erase. That's why this message has found you now, to remind you that those unseen moments were not wasted. They were not forgotten. They became part of heaven's evidence that your life can carry more than you thought. You may not have been celebrated when it happened. You may have even wondered if it mattered. But those moments have already begun echoing. They've already started shaping your path forward. And here's the truth you need to take in. Divine delight is not temporary. It doesn't fade like applause from a crowd. It lingers. It becomes favor. It becomes covering. The world may not have noticed. People may never acknowledge it. But the unseen has already responded. Your grace has already rewritten the atmosphere around you. And now comes the part no one prepares you for. When God smiles, it doesn't end with recognition. It begins with rearrangement. Because divine delight isn't just affection, it's permission. It's heaven saying, this one can handle more. That means environments start shifting. Paths you didn't plan begin opening. And it won't always feel comfortable, because heaven doesn't celebrate you just to leave you where you are. Grace becomes a doorway, and the same grace you showed in hidden places is the same grace that will now carry you into rooms you never thought you'd enter. Think of a horizon right before sunrise. For hours, the darkness seems endless. Then suddenly, one thin line of light cuts across the sky. That light doesn't ask permission. It doesn't need applause. It simply announces, the night is over. That's what your life is doing right now. The way you handled your midnight has become the proof that you're ready for dawn, and heaven is responding with alignment, connections you didn't chase, favor you didn't bargain for, doors you didn't even know existed. But here's the part that will stretch you. This isn't about waiting for others to recognize what's happening in you. It's about living in such a way that you recognize it yourself. Live like you can already see God's smile. Live like your dream life is already here, and every step is ordered with precision. Because if God Himself designed every detail of your path, would you walk timidly, or would you move with full trust that nothing has been wasted? And when you live that way, everything begins to shift. Fear loses its grip. Doubt loses its volume. Your path stops feeling random and starts feeling directed. Because living as though every detail is divinely ordered allows you to step into alignment with what heaven has already prepared. My dear friend, you're already doing this. You already are faithful. You already trust. That's the reason you'll notice your words carrying a deeper resonance when you speak. It's why peace will follow you into rooms still buzzing with conflict. It's why opportunities will seem to find you instead of you running after them. Because once God delights in you, creation itself begins to cooperate. Here's a truth most won't say out loud. God's smile is more disruptive than His silence. Silence allows you to wrestle. His smile forces you to rise. And that's what you're being pulled into now. Not just survival, not just getting by, but impact. Your grace has now become the foundation of your influence. Not influence for validation or status, but influence that anchors the spaces you touch and the lives that cross your path. You've been prepared for this moment, even when you didn't know it. Every time you chose grace, you were fortifying your roots. Every time you kept your integrity, you were storing oil for the lamp you'll need now. Every time you endured in silence, you were writing chapters heaven intends to publish in the open. And now the publishing begins. But hear this clearly. This isn't about proving yourself to anyone. You already proved it where it mattered most. This next season isn't a test. It's a reveal. It's heaven showing the earth what it already celebrated in secret. So don't be shocked when rooms open. Don't be surprised when you feel stretched. Don't hesitate when opportunities that seem too big start circling your life. That's not luck. That's not coincidence. That's the echo of grace carrying you forward. And yes, grace will still feel costly. Carrying yourself with grace when others expect rage will still test you. Choosing grace when shortcuts glitter in front of you will still feel heavy. But here's the difference now. You won't just be sustaining yourself. You'll be shaping futures. Because grace doesn't just protect you, it builds a path behind you. Others will step more safely because you didn't collapse. Others will choose better because they saw you refuse bitterness. And that's why God smiled. Not only at you, but through you. Let me tell you something bold. Heaven's delight over you is not just about your past decisions. It's about your future reach. That smile is an investment. It's heaven saying, we can entrust more to this one. We can stretch their borders. We can place more in their hands. And more is coming. More blessing, more reach, more impact. And yes, more responsibility. Not because you begged for it, but because you proved trustworthy in the moments nobody else saw. So stand tall now. Don't second guess what's unfolding. You're not here by accident. You didn't stumble into this moment. You were prepared through pressure, refined in restraint, and revealed through grace. And the God who smiled at you in private is now ready to affirm you in public. Let me close with this. The greatest honor is not applause, it's trust, and heaven trusts you. That's why this message is reaching you now. Your grace has already opened something in the unseen. Your posture has already begun rewriting your future. And His delight over your life is not fading, it's expanding into favor that follows you. So walk forward with confidence. Walk forward with clarity. Walk forward knowing this. God's approval over your life is not just comfort, it's assignment. And nothing can stand against that. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. If this message resonated, please like, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe to stay connected. Continue your awakening journey by choosing one of the videos on your screen that resonates with you the most. See you there.